All right, here was last night's homework. The sum method, count odds, average, and row swapper. Okay, first three are pretty basic. First three should be okay. Okay, the fourth one is extremely interesting, row swapper. Okay, you could probably figure it out and do it with what we've done in class so far, but it wouldn't be easy. I'll try and show you an easier way to do it. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste these methods into BlueJ. Sum, count odds, average, and row swapper. The first three will knock out pretty quickly, and we'll spend quite a bit of time on the fourth one. It's more or less new material. Okay, in order to test these guys, let's make a matrix up top. I think I'll just call it M today. Matrix M. And let's give it a pretty simple list of values here. Row 0 has 2, 3, and 4. Row 1, about 3, 4, and 5. And row 2, about 4, 5, and 6. All right. Compile. Of course, I made a mistake. Semicolon. Done. Compile it. And some more braces. All right. So the first couple were just me making you practice that nested loop some more, probably, right? Nothing crazy about the first two. Okay. We're going to add up all the numbers in my matrix and return that sum. Okay. So I'll make a sum variable. I don't like having two things called the same name, same identifier. Like the method is sum. I don't want to make a sum variable also. Okay. I'll call it total. And then I'll return total. Okay. Just like down here in count odds, I'll say int count equals 0 and return count. All right. The outside loop goes through our rows. Again, sum does not know anything about M except for its type int. So it doesn't know there's 3 rows. So we have to use mat.length to find number of rows. And then the inside loop goes through the columns. I told you you can put a 0 in the brackets here, or you can put row there. You can put a 0 if you know it's not jagged. On the AP exam, you know it's not jagged, so you could put a 0 there. But I'll put row there just for good practice. Column plus plus. And so total plus equals mat of row call. How am I doing? Today, you're getting a quiz with 6 multiple choice questions, and there's no matrices with loops in it, okay? You don't have to write any code, it's all multiple choice. And in fact, if there's a matrix question, it won't have a loop. So let's call that method, make sure it works. I'll put the call in an out.print line. And what should we get? 9 and 12 is 21, and 15, I think it's 36. $36. So this guy is working. All right. Nathan, how am I doing? Are you keeping up? Can you keep up with the code? Are you okay? Ruby, okay? All right. Again, if you had this with yesterday's methods, you could have copy and pasted those loops right in there. Today is the 6-question multiple choice quiz. Tomorrow is a crazy assembly day. Okay. Period 3 assembly tomorrow with lots of kids absent, not just in period 3. So tomorrow will not be a quiz day, but Monday is likely to be. And so on Monday, you'll probably have to write this nested loop for the first time on a quiz. Okay, make sense? All right, count odds. I'm going to go ahead and cheat and steal the nested loop there. All right. Can you copy and paste that, Arian? Just copy and paste that again. And then we got to have an if here. If math. A number is odd if when you divide it by 2, its remainder is 1. That's at least one way to say it. There's crazier ways to do it, but that I hope you think is the simplest. All right. Good. I'll test it up here in the main. Count odds. I should get what? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I see 4 odd numbers. Good. We good? We keeping up? And then the sum method has some weird instructions, right? A little bit weird. But this is, as I said yesterday, the format of the AP exam. They might have you in part A of a question do the sum method, and then in part B have you write the average method and say in the directions that you must call the method you wrote in part A. They'll say assume what you wrote is perfect and call it inside this method. Okay? So we're going to call the sum method from the average method because the average is going to be the sum divided by the number of values, right? How many values are in our matrix? Okay? Well, in a 3 by 3 matrix, there's 9 values. In a 2 by 5 matrix, 2 by 5, there's 10, right? And a 10 by 10, they're the 100. How am I getting those numbers? I'm multiplying the number of rows by number of columns. So let's get our sum. Let's get our number of rows. And let's get our number of columns. And then return sum divided by num rows times num columns. Okay? That'll be my algorithm. That's how we'll try and do it. I know many of you may have done this in one statement last night. That's fine. So the sum we'll call the sum method and give it mat. Now, as I just said, I don't like having two things with the same name. Okay, so I'm going to make this total again. No, let's be total also. Number of rows is mat.length. Number of columns is mat of any row dot length. But you don't want to put in 10 there, right? Like 10, you don't know there's 10 rows. Okay, you don't want to do that. So you're probably going to be guaranteed in the AP exam there's at least one row and one column. So just use the first one. And now we're forgetting one thing here. We got to return a double. And that means probably with decimals, right? So you can do a couple different things. Probably what many of you did was cast total to a double. Okay? Also, instead, you could have just made my total variable a double. Right? Same effect. So let's see here. Out.println average M. Again, you could do this in one statement. I have no doubt that many of you did. So the sum was 36, and there was 9 numbers. So 36 divided by 9 is 4.0. Let's make sure our decimals work. And let's make the last number, bottom right number, let's make it 7. That way we'll have a decimal average, I think. The sum now is going to be 37 divided by 9 is 4 1/9, right? 4.111. So it's working. Okay. So that's the first 3 of last night's 4.